Thanks for clicking on the video. Hit us with a like on Facebook, a subscribe on YouTube, a follow on Instagram. You can find us at Homie and the Dude. That is at Homie and the Dude. Thanks again. Enjoy the video.
So I'm thinking about the old like Z-Boys and how they used to ride a certain type of deck, right? So it was like, the Christian Hosoi wide. Sometimes they had a little tail on them, short trucks with, like crypto bigger wheels, and they probably had no idea how equipment would evolve, over the course of decades, really. They just had what they had, and they did tricks off them. They did when they were fucking amazing with them.
Yeah.
If you were to conjecture like what Onewheel needs or what you'd like to see in Onewheel, technology-wise, whether it's weights or more horsepower or more whatever, what would you like? And it just can't happen right now because of battery life or whatever it is. What do you see like 5 years, 10 years down the road with the sport?
Well, I mean, unfortunately, there's a lot of stuff that we could do to improve the Onewheel majorly right now. But the XR that we have today is, for the most part, the exact same XR we had when it came out in 2017. So that's been kind of tough for us, and that's one of the reasons Float Life exists, is because we want the boards to be stronger and to be able to do more and ride differently. And Onewheel doesn't change anything about the board, so we do. And we've made some adjustments to some changes and made some parts. So hopefully, and honestly, I don't even think Onewheel's working on their next board yet. I think they're still just chilling on the Pint and the XR. And my fear actually is that they're going to be like, okay, we have the XR, we have the Pint, those are fine. Let's go make another vehicle. Oh, sorry, he's got the air compressor on. But that's one of my fears, is that they're actually going to be like, Pint, we're good. XR, we're good. We got like our big board, we got our small board. And then maybe they're going to make like a bike next, or like a scooter or something like that.
Wow.
But if they do, if they're finally like, okay, we'll listen to the riders, like they bring us in and we all figure out the next Onewheel and make something that's going to be like really sweet and what we need, what I would want is swappable batteries is like the main thing. Like if I could have swappable batteries, even if the batteries were like $500 each, I'd stash the coin away and get a few of them. But if we were able to swap the batteries out, that'd be really sick, because you could just have a battery in your backpack, be riding, board dies, pull it out, swap it out, throw a freshie in there, and you're all good. So swappable batteries would be big for me. And then obviously like weight reduction would be really sweet. And I know that's really hard now with technology. That's definitely like a technology thing that we'll have to wait for, because the boards are like 25, 30 pounds. And then each accessory, each thing you add on to it makes it even heavier and heavier. So those things are heavy, bro. Like the way we throw them around definitely makes them look a little lighter than they are. But one heavy objects. So if we could get like 5-10 pounds shaved off that thing, that would open up a lot more possibilities. I'd make it go up hills and up ramps easier, make it so we could pop it higher, make it so we could rip it around a little more. And like, I've been dreaming of getting a backside nose slide, popping over, keeping the nose on the curb into a front side nose slide, but the board's just too heavy to do that. So it would be swappable batteries, weight reduction. Something I've been thinking about, I told my, if anybody's familiar with the Corridor crew, Corridor Digital on YouTube, you fuck with those guys?
Dude.
No,
praise Corridor Digital. They're the best content creators on YouTube, dude. They're the best content creators.
I love their channel. I've become friends with Ren. Ren's actually a Flux Movement drone pilot, and he's my dog. And after becoming friends with him, I went and checked out their channel. I'm obsessed with their channel. I watch their stuff all the time. But Ren, I was telling Ren about my idea that I want, and he totally fucking roasted me, bro. It kind of got me. So I was like, dude, of the board, because the Onewheel, the sensor is on the front foot pad. It's like a contact sensor, and it just causes all kinds of issues that we go into depth with. But I was like, dude, what if there's some way to put like a weight sensor in the axle, and then when you land on the board, like no matter what angle it's at, like a certain amount of weight is going to trigger the board in the axle instead on the thing. He's like, yeah, I'd like to have Bluetooth bearings. And he just rode off, bro. He just rode off. I was like, oh my God. But he's an engineer. He's really smart, and he thought that was a stupid idea. So I figure like it's probably something that's really hard to do, but something I really want is to figure out how to rework the sensor somehow. because the
Yeah.
sensor, like what we've started to do, the sensor is so hard to work with, and there's two sides to it you have to activate also. And so like you'll
Mhm.
land, like I've it's the biggest struggle of my freaking life, bro, is you'll land a one wheel trick, bolts. You'll just
Yeah.
stomp the hell out of it perfect, and then it just blip, doesn't reactivate, and you just go off the front.
Mhm.
Because the sensors don't quite activate. And so what I would want is uh, to rework the sensor somehow to make it more accurate and activate more for freestyle stuff. And the only thing I could really think of is figuring out how to put a weight sensor in the axle, but it is a kind of weird idea, because what we've done to remedy that is there's a guy, his name is Christian. He is the creator and owner of Diamond Grind Coping, which is this really
Mhm.
sick skate coping that's like etched. So when you
Yeah.
grind it, it kind of like feels like brick almost, or stone. And he came up with the posi sensor, which is this button where you peel up your foot pad and you unplug your foot pad from the controller, and then you plug in this button in between the foot pad and the controller that goes down and gets tucked up in the board. And then basically what it does is it turns the two sides of the sensor into one big sensor. It essentially
wow.
wires them together.
Yeah.
Um, and that was really cool. We put it on a bunch of our boards, but the only issue with that is that the plug doesn't, there's not quite enough room in the plug area for it to fit, because there's the controller modules in the front of the one wheel, and everything comes up around the rails and plugs in, right, basically like the front of the tire, right in front of the tire.
Yeah.
And it's not built for that to be in there. So hey, that's my buddy Elijah. So it's not really built to be in there, so it pushes on some stuff, and we've had a couple boards get a little damaged from having that in there. So what we do is we open up the controller module, and there's two pins behind where you plug the plug into the controller, and it says pad 1 and pad 2, and you just solder them together, and it makes the whole sensor one big sensor permanently, and we call that
Wow.
posi.
And the float life does that?
Yeah, we don't do it like for, it's not like a service we provide, but it's something that we do to all our boards,
Yeah.
because it makes it a lot more responsive when landing tricks and stuff like that. And I honestly think that's something that they could easily do within the app, and something that I really, really hope they do. If they're not going to redo the sensors for us, I hope they at least give us option to posi our boards in the app, because all they have to do is put a little chip in there that's like on or off, it connects them or doesn't
Yeah.
connect them inside the board, and you can just go into the app and just do like permaposi or not permaposi. Yeah, so swappable batteries, weight reduction, better sensor, and then they need to make the rails stronger on these boards. Like they need to make them way stronger. They use really cheap aluminum, and they don't leave enough thread space, so the rails bend and all the holes will strip out over time. So I think if we can figure out another metal to use, or like, because what we've actually, well, like we're about to drop them really soon here. We have our own rails. We call them homebrew, where we use real 7075 grade aircraft aluminum. We get rid of the middle hole. We've extended all the threads and made them stronger. But I think they need to be making stronger rails out of the box on these boards, especially as we're pushing into like freestyle and stuff. Because ultimately the issue, that's basically it.
Hope you all enjoyed this pod clip. Hit us with the Holy Trinity. Go to our Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, which is at Homie and the Dude. Like, follow, and subscribe to all of those. And thanks again, guys. Have an awesome day.